When they said on the broadcast tonight that you were not going to play overseas, you were going to take some time, can you just tell us a little bit more about that decision?
Everyone thought they knew the Caitlin Clark story, the record-shattering college phenom from Iowa, the girl with the logo three-shot who was single-handedly going to lift the WNBA into a new stratosphere. It was supposed to be a coronation, a celebration of a new era, but that's not what happened. The story you've been told is a carefully constructed fantasy, and the reality of her rookie season is darker, more complicated, and far more shocking than anyone could have ever imagined. The fairy tale narrative is hiding a much darker and more complicated reality that's been unfolding since her professional debut, and the truth is finally coming to light.
I don't know what I'm gonna do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm gonna do the next day. So maybe play some golf. I think that's what I'm gonna do until it gets too cold in Indiana. So I got that. I'll become a professional golfer.
Not too much, babe.
Yeah.
Just wait, keep it basketball.
She entered the league carrying the weight of impossible expectations. TV networks saw her as a ratings machine, the league saw her as its savior, and fans saw her as the undisputed queen of basketball. But inside the WNBA, some veteran players saw something else entirely, a threat. Her welcome to the professional stage wasn't with open arms, but with a baptism by fire. The early losses for the Indiana Fever were one thing, a predictable struggle for a young team, but the on-court losses were nothing compared to the war being waged against her by the very players she was meant to join. She was meant to be the rising tide that lifted all boats, but it quickly became clear that some of those boats were trying to sink her.
A Rookie of the Year set to compete in a Pro-Am golf event next month. The Indiana Fever superstar will appear at the Annika, which is the next to last tournament on the LPGA Tour from November 11th through the 17th. She will also play in the Pro-Am event on November 13th.
The hostility finally boiled over in a moment that went viral around the world. During a game against the Chicago Sky, player Chennedy didn't just foul Caitlin Clark, she delivered a vicious off-ball hip check that sent Clark crashing to the floor. There was no play on the ball, no basketball reason for the contact. It was a blindside hit, pure and simple. There was no apology. In fact, Carter was later caught on camera mouthing off about Clark, calling her a bitch. This wasn't just a hard foul in a physical game. This was a statement, a message from a faction of the old guard that the new star wouldn't be given an easy path. It was a cheap shot that ignited a firestorm, raising the question, was this just basketball, or was it pure, unadulterated jealousy?
Caitlin, that could be it. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Right from the pictures away! No! Caitlin! Oh, I have to go after that. Are we being serious?
Wow.
Are we sure it didn't go in? Are we sure?
This blatant aggression wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a disturbing pattern that many are now calling the league's unspoken code of hazing. From the very first game, Clark was hounded, bumped, and physically challenged in ways that went beyond typical rookie treatment. Players set illegal screens designed to knock her down. Defenders shoved her long after the ball was gone. It was a relentless campaign of physical intimidation. Veterans like Diana Taurasi had foreshadowed this, remarking before the season that reality is coming for Clark. But no one expected that reality to look like a targeted assault. The league's referees seemed hesitant to protect their biggest star, letting countless hard fouls go uncalled, which only emboldened her opponents. The message was being sent not just by the players, but by the officials in action. She was on her own.
Is this it? Is this like a, we're good, we're gonna call it dirty? I don't think so. Oh! Yes!
As a star player was being treated like a human piñata on the court, Indiana Fever head coach Christy Sides was caught in an impossible position. Every post-game press conference became a minefield. She had to defend Clark and demand better officiating without sounding like she was making excuses for losses. She pleaded with the league, sending in clip after clip of the illegal hits her player was enduring, hoping for some kind of intervention. Yet her public cries for help seemed to fall on deaf ears. Internally, she was tasked with keeping a young, struggling team focused while a media circus exploded around them. The pressure on sides was immense, not just to win games, but to protect the league's most valuable asset from being physically and mentally broken before her career had even truly begun.
Some golf.
Perfect out here.
I never golf this early in the morning.
I grew up in Des Moines and I played there a ton. And honestly, I try to get back there as much as I can to play with my family. My dad plays a lot, my older brother plays a lot. So, you know, it's super fun.
While Coach Sides fought a losing battle for fairness on the court, Caitlin Clark's name was being weaponized in a raging culture war. The Chennedy Carter incident was the spark that lit the fuse. Media personalities and talking heads, from Stephen F. Smith to Pat McAfee, used the clip to fuel explosive debates about race, privilege, and respect in women's sports. She was unknowingly cast as the protagonist in a drama she never auditioned for. Analysts who had never watched a WNBA game in their lives were now screaming about her treatment, often adding more fuel to the fire and completely ignoring the nuances of the situation. The discourse became toxic, overshadowing the game itself and placing a 22-year-old in the center of a national controversy she desperately tried to avoid.
Y'all should be thanking that girl for getting y'all ass private charters, all the money and visibility she brings into the WNBA.
The media machine, sensing a story that generated clicks and ratings, crafted a masterpiece of division. The narrative was expertly framed. Caitlin Clark, the wholesome hero from Iowa, versus a league of jealous, aggressive veterans. This oversimplified and often racially charged storyline was pushed relentlessly across sports talk shows and social media. It forced fans to pick a side, turning every game into a battleground for cultural grievances. The actual basketball became secondary to the soap opera. Commentators debated her privilege and questioned whether she deserved the attention she received, all while conveniently ignoring the fact that her talent and impact were the very reasons they were discussing the league in the first place. The media wasn't just reporting on the story, it was actively shaping it into its most controversial form.
I feel like I'm like Tiger Woods. That's what it feels like. But then you go to the next hole and you get humbled instantly, so.
This firestorm placed Caitlin Clark on an impossible tightrope. As the conversation spiraled into charged debates about race, she faced intense pressure from all sides to speak out. Some demanded she use her platform to acknowledge the racial dynamics at play and defend her fellow players. Others insisted she remain silent and just play basketball. She was criticized for not being a vocal leader on social issues, while simultaneously being the target of resentment for the very attention that gave her that platform. It was a classic catch-22. If she spoke, she risked alienating a portion of her fan base and being accused of being disingenuous. If she stayed silent, she was accused of being naive or complicit. For a 22-year-old rookie, it was a no-win situation, forcing her to navigate a political minefield while trying to learn a new pro offense.
One thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously not every, they're human.
The rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, born in the fires of a college championship game, became the focal point for all this simmering tension. It followed them directly to the pros, and their matchups were promoted like heavyweight prize fights. In their first WNBA meeting, the atmosphere was electric. During a later game, as Clark drove to the basket, Reese swung her arm and deliberately struck Clark in the head, a move immediately upgraded to a flagrant 1 foul. After the game, Reese didn't back down. She told reporters that the foul was a basketball play, and that the fan reaction was because people were in their feelings about her. She cryptically added, "It's not just because of me," hinting at a league-wide sentiment. Her words fanned the flames, making it clear the rivalry was not only real, but was escalating into one of the most personal and contentious battles in the league. Just when it seemed the pressure couldn't get any higher, a decision was made behind closed doors that sent shockwaves through the entire sports world. It was the ultimate betrayal. Despite being the most famous and influential basketball player in the country, Caitlin Clark was left off the 12-man roster for the U.S. Olympic team. The official reason cited her lack of experience with the senior national team, but insiders immediately began telling a different story. Whispers grew into damning reports that veteran players on the team were concerned about how Clark's massive fan base would react if she had a limited bench role. The rumor was that they actively pushed to keep her out, not wanting to deal with the Caitlin Clark circus. The biggest star, the one who brought millions of new eyes to the sport, had been blackballed by the very establishment she was elevating.
The break, I haven't been out there yet this year, so I got new clubs that I need to break in and see how they swing, so hopefully get out there later this week on it.
While the world was focused on the on-court drama, another mystery was brewing: the silence of her own teammates. As Clark was being physically targeted and publicly dissected, the Indiana Fever players were noticeably quiet. There were no forceful public defenses, no angry sound bites backing up their star. Was this a sign of a fractured locker room resentful of the rookie who instantly became the face of the franchise? Or were they simply overwhelmed, a young team trying to find its footing amidst an unprecedented media storm? The lack of vocal support created a narrative vacuum which was quickly filled with speculation. It added another layer of intrigue to Clark's isolation. Not just an outsider to the league, but perhaps an outsider on her own team as well. As the debate raged over her Olympic snub, another controversy erupted online, one built on a complete misunderstanding. The internet exploded when her paltry rookie WNBA salary of just over $76,000 was revealed. People were furious, using it as a prime example of gender pay disparity, but this narrative missed the real story entirely. While her league salary is modest, Caitlin Clark is quietly building a financial empire. She inked a jaw-dropping 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike, which includes her own signature shoe. That, combined with her multi-million-dollar deals with Gatorade, State Farm, and Wilson, makes her one of the highest-earning female athletes on the planet. The outrage was misplaced. Clark was playing a much bigger game than most people realized. The financial ripple effect of her arrival goes far beyond her own bank account. The Clark economy is real, and it's transforming the league in ways many veterans could only dream of. For the first time in its history, the WNBA approved full-time charter flights for all teams, a move largely credited to the increased revenue and attention Clark brought. Opposing teams are moving their games against the Fever to larger NBA arenas just to accommodate the massive ticket demand. Viewership is up over 200% on some networks, which will lead to bigger media rights deals and higher salaries for every single player. This created the ultimate irony. Many of the same players who openly resent her are directly benefiting from the economic boom she created. With millions in the bank but a target on her back, how is the 22-year-old actually handling it all? While the world screamed, Clark whispered. In public, she remained unnervingly poised, consistently redirecting questions about the drama back to basketball. She focused on her team, on improving her game, and on weathering the storm with a maturity far beyond her years. In a rare moment of vulnerability captured in a preseason interview, she gave a glimpse into her escape. When asked about her plans, she didn't talk about fame or legacy. She talked about just wanting to play some golf until it got too cold in Indiana. It was a humanizing moment that revealed the immense pressure she was under. A young woman trying to find a moment of peace in the middle of a hurricane. Her rookie season is no longer a fairy tale coronation. It has become a trial by fire. She has faced on-court aggression, a media frenzy that used her as a pawn, a bitter rivalry that feels deeply personal, and an Olympic dream deferred by those at the very top. The story of Caitlin Clark is no longer just about breaking scoring records. It's a story of survival. Everyone is watching to see what she does next, not just with the ball in her hands, but with the immense weight of an entire league on her shoulders. The question is no longer if she can change the game, but if the game will break her first.